We continue with state inspection, and this time we are going to discuss searching. We continue with the same program increaser.assemble. First, let's assemble this program. Let's run it just to make sure that it works. Good. Let's open it inside WinDBG. I pick increaser.exe. As usual, I get increaser.exe paused, and also the command line of the debugger. At this point, I am paused somewhere inside the program. This location, by the way, is probably some location which belongs to the operation system. If we use the lm command to list the possible modules, we are going to see that this address is somewhere inside ntdll. It is not inside my module. Let's assume that I want to find the entry point of my program. And let's assume that I want to do it in a different way. I don't want to do this. Another alternative to find the entry point of my program would be to search. I want to introduce you to the search command, which is just S. Let's see some really basic examples of using this command first, and then we are going to find the entry point. Let's begin by searching something arbitrary, for example inside kernel 32, just for the fun. The search command needs as arguments the beginning address and also the ending address for the search. Next, we should supply a few bytes to search for. If, for example, we search for only one byte, maybe for example the byte 1, we are going to get a lot of results. Maybe even too much. If we get more specific and we try to search for some 2 specific bytes, maybe for example 1 and 2, we are going to get less results, but also a lot. Let's discuss how the results look like. Every result first has an address, and then we are shown a few bytes from this address. As you can see, all of the results begin with the bytes 1 and then 2. In the previous results, all the results begin with the byte 1. However, the second byte could be really anything. If we try to search for something really specific, sometimes we might not get any results. In this example, we didn't get any results. Let's go back to what we originally wanted to do, to find the entry point of our program. I use the lm list modules command again to list all the modules in our program. We know that the entry point is somewhere inside this module, which is our module, which means that it is somewhere here. We can start writing the search command S, then we can add the start and the end locations, and finally we have to supply a few bytes to search. In order to supply those bytes, we should open our executable file with a hex editor. Let's use Hex Workshop for it. we open increaser.exe inside Xworkshop. Now we have to look for the beginning of the code. We can guess that it is somewhere here. We could also be more sure about it if we check the table of sections and find the offset of the text section inside the executable file. But this time we can just guess, because it is pretty easy to do so in this case. Those are the first instructions inside our code. We can just copy a few bytes, maybe for example those bytes, just to be sure, and then paste those bytes here. We have to separate them, of course, so WinDBG will be able to read what we wrote. Next we can just search. And we got exactly one result. We can see that it is in address 403 followed by 3 zeros, and the bytes in this address match exactly to the bytes which we have searched. Just to be sure that this is really a piece of code, we can use the U command to unassemble the instructions at this location. First we write U, and then we copy this address. Next we press the return key, and we can see a few instructions, which are exactly the first instructions in our program. Those are the first 3 moves. Move ESI something, move EDI something, and finally move ECX null. At this point, we can add a breakpoint at this location, because we are really sure that this is the entry point. We added the breakpoint. Now we can just use the go command, and we expect to stop at this first breakpoint, which is exactly at the entry point of our code. Indeed, we can see that we stopped exactly on the first instruction, which is exactly this one. Those were just a really few simple examples of searching values inside a process memory. You could probably think about more cases in which you might want to search bytes inside a process.